highly unlikely, but it also explains why he died without having his bones broken.
Right. No human could have went through that.
Yep. And howdy, everybody. Howdy, Lynn. Howdy, Brenda. Howdy, Shawnette. Howdy, Tony. That we were just discussing the book, The Case for Christ, which, if you haven't read it, you should read it. Don't watch the movie. Oh my gosh.
Watch the movie.
Hollywood.
Books are better.
Hollywood. Enough said. Yep. Did you read it, Tony? That, because I thought it was a good book. But yeah, it was very interesting. We were just discussing how he interviewed historians that talk about things like the Code of Hammurabi or the Odyssey or Helen of Troy, and there's only one reference in history for those things. And people say, look, this is the fact. This is the way it is. But then you get to the fact that they have over 5,000 complete copies of the Gospels in Greek alone from the 1st century AD, Anno Domini. And people say, there's no proof that Jesus Christ existed. It's like people, but that's the thing. They'll just deny it. And no matter what, whatever proof they say they want, and you give them that proof, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Then they'll just take something else up. I mean, look at all the miracles that Yeshua, Jesus performed, and they didn't believe any of it, right? But then, as he's hanging on the cross, they said, "Well, if you take yourself down from the cross, then now we'll believe you." No, you wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't.
Yep. Just like those, back in the 1990s, because I always keep up on what they're doing in archaeology and paleontology and stuff. Always try to, the big stuff. Anyways, back then it was there is no proof, there is no written proof that there ever was an ancient kingdom of Israel or a King David. So then they find all this proof of King David, like the annals of King David and the kingdom of Israel. And they're like, well, there's no proof that was written by other countries. How do we know that Jews didn't write that? Right? And so for a few years it went by, they got the proof they wanted, and then that wasn't good enough. And so then somebody digging in Jordan found tablets from the Hittites saying, we were conquered by the armies of David. It's like, well, there's your foreign reference.
Yeah.
But of course, then they didn't believe that either, right?
Of course not.
And no, Brenda, they're just always looking to deny the fact that anything in the Bible is true. Anything.
Because archaeology really does bear it out.
It does. Yep. And see, it's very interesting because it was a Protestant council in the 1700s that got the apocryphal books removed from the King James Bible. See, most people don't know why that happened, but it was Protestants. And who was it that led the charge for evolution, for Egyptology, for other earth sciences and geographic societies. Those started in the great English colleges that started out as seminaries.
Ooh.
Yep, and they it's funny because I don't think it's Jasher. It might be Jasher, but I believe it's more Jubilees. It names the Egyptian kings from basically when Egypt started all the way through to Joseph, and then names the strange pharaoh that came up. Well, you can't have that
Nope.
as common knowledge to everybody and then try to say, well, in reality, the history of Egypt is 700 years off. No, it's not. You guys are just liars, and you don't want any proof that you're liars. Yep, that's right. You stiff-neckers.
I'm a little stiff-necked today myself.
Right? You tell those. You tell them, look, here's all the evidence you wanted, and they go, where? And it's that way with anything. It's that way with anything that doesn't match what they're shoving down your throat.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct, GR. That, look at the whole Columbus thing.
Mm-hmm.
That they have copper from Michigan that was fashioned in the modern Middle East. They have written stone contracts for Phoenician shipping of said copper that was found in New England, in Maine. They have gold from Roman shipwrecks off the coast of South America.
Mm-hmm.
Roman, right? Like Caesar's ships. Yeah, Columbus discovered America.
Yep. And Egyptian tombs in the Grand Canyon, and
Why are they hiding it? Why do they not want people to know that stuff?
there's Egyptian writing somewhere in Utah in one of the canyons. It's like, what? Yeah.
We should get my friend Nancy on here because she's like in the Arizona Women's Archaeology Society or something.
Oh, cool.
And her husband was an actual archaeologist for the state of Arizona.
Oh.
And they got all kinds of information.
Oh, I would love to get her. Yes. We could pick her brain a little bit.
Right. Yep.
Not in a zombie-like fashion, though.
Yeah, she's got pictures of her over the Ten Commandments in Mexico. That are scratched. New Mexico. Did I say Mexico?
I think New Mexico. Isn't there some talk about one of the disciples being over here, or Joseph? No, Joseph. I don't know.
This they think was this they believe were priests from the 10 northern kingdoms that came. There's also the Bat Creek Stone in Tennessee. That's Paleo Hebrew 10 Commandments.
Wow, I didn't know about that.
Yep. And then of course they said, "Oh, it's funny because they had multiple people look at it. Oh, it's an unknown writing. It's an unknown writing." And then someone took the tablet and went, "Hey, it's Paleo Hebrew." And that's just funny.
That is funny.
And then, of course, as soon as it's Paleo Hebrew, all of a sudden, fake! It's fake!
That just blows me away. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sitting there clicking on YouTube, trying to highlight someone's comment. Azareth. Isn't it that hard rock band from the 70s, Azareth?
That's Nazareth. like where, over there in Israel, Nazareth.
I know. I always wondered, how did they come up with that name?
Me too. Hmm.
Let's look it up.
I used to watch them all the time, and I never thought about it till later. It's like,
Yeah. What's the deal? Oh, it's a Scottish hard rock band. Formed in Dunfermline.
Nazareth?
Yeah. Who would have guessed it?
I can't let the dogs in. Dog's licking the glass right now.
Oh, this is interesting. Nazareth took their name from Nazareth, Pennsylvania, which is cited in the first line of the band's classic song, The Wait. That's pretty interesting. Okay, that was weird coming back from Wikipedia, and there's that thing on the screen.
Oh, sorry. Dog was licking the glass. I had to let him in.
What is that?
Huh?
What is that? When you stop your video, what is that?
Oh, that's just a thing I grabbed from the Chromebook.
What is it? Let me see it.
Oh,
Show us. Oh, okay.
like leaves or something.
All right.
Fans.
Interesting. That sounds like a pit bull drinking water. My dog used to make such a huge mess.
He does too. Snuffles is waiting in line behind him. Be next.
Yeah, there was our dog that we have now. When she was young, and occasionally she'll still do it. When she was real young, she would stick her whole snout underwater and then blow bubbles while she drank. It's like using her whole snout as a straw or something. It was really weird.
That is weird.
I saw a video recently of another dog, and it looks very much like her that's doing that.
Huh.
Right. That's awesome there, April. And it was a good-looking tent, too. Tents are fun.
They are fun.
Yep.
Yeah, I finally put mine away.
I'd like to have, at some point in time, get one of those great big felt ones like they have in the Middle East.
Oh, yeah. Were you and I talking about?
I think so.
You
Those
could
have
live
to
in
be
that.
so heavy.
Yeah, but still, and then didn't they do with air pockets and stuff, like sort of like window? Oh yeah, me and Brenda were talking about it with air in between.
Well, they got different rooms in them, so I'm sure that helps. But that felt is so thick. I mean, look at if you've ever had worn something that was made of felt.
No, I tried to avoid felt.
Isn't that made from semi-spoiled milk, yogurt?
You can just haul your yurt around behind your car.
I'm surprised the number of people. There's a lot of people that are switching to those for tiny home stuff.
Yes, they're very practical.
I think you've drank too much fermented mare's milk. Yurt. Okay. That yurt. What a word, yurt.
I know.
What happens when you slam on the brakes of your car? Yurt. Okay.
And your yurt goes, woo.
Yeah. Yep.
Put rooms in a yurt. That's my question.
Depends on how big the yurt is.
Perhaps a lot.
There used to be a channel on YouTube, some family thing, where they lived in a yurt up in Idaho until they got their house built, and then that channel disappeared because they went to some type of workshop or something, and they said it was really weird. They like got locked inside this compound and stuff.
What?
Yeah, and so then whoever ran those classes sued them for making a video about their experience.
Oh,
And then their channel just went after that.
wow.
I know that's kind of weird.
Gotta be careful out there.
Well, that's ridiculous. Well, did you see AJ? The initials AJ was told to pay almost $1 billion
Yes.
to families of offended people. And it's like, but they're, the point, why was it that much money? Why was it $1 billion? Why not 20 billion?
Mm-hmm.
Why not $1 trillion?
Mm-hmm.
Because their goal isn't to get those people money. Their goal is to ensure that you shut up and don't talk about things that aren't authorized to be talked about.
I'm still going to talk about it.
Me too. That whole thing was a scam. There's no FBI report on it.
Yeah, there's
There's no FBI numbers. When you go to the Department of Justice, no murders occurred in that area for that year, the entire year.
fishy, fishy, tinky, tinky.
Yep.
Fish heads. Roly poly fish heads.
Yep. Yeah, that actually reminds me of a true story. That
Fish heads?
No.
Oh.
That lawsuit. I was teaching a few students, not a bunch, but a few students concealed carry class, but just the range time, right? We had to go to the range. And we used a public range, county range, and it went out, took the class out there. So it was about 3 hours of shooting time, and get done, give them their certificates and stuff, and get back to my truck. And I got two messages on my phone from our daughter's school. I'm like, what's that? So I checked the message, and the first message is we just wanted to advise all the parents that we had a lockdown drill today at school. Right? That's basically all it was.
Mm-hmm.
The next message was also from the school. And it said, we assure you that this was only a drill. There was no actual lockdown. Neither was there any type of shooting. We completely apologize for the timing of this. This drill had been scheduled, and that was the morning that happened, that he got sued for, supposedly. And so I'm like, it's like 11:30 in the morning now, which I don't know, probably started like 7 o'clock our time or something like that. I don't remember. Yep. So I was still like, no, I still don't really know what's happening.
Don't worry about that text. There wasn't anybody here with a gun trying to shoot up at school.
Yep.
See, then I'd be like, okay, I'm going right to the school.
Well, that's why I had to start splitting classes up, because I was the main transportation to and from school. Yeah. It's kind of awkward doing range day when you have to pull up into the drop-off loop or whatever. You have 8 handguns and 2,000 rounds of ammo for all your students. What? I'm not getting out of the car.
Yes, technically you're in your own private property.
Yep. And the other loophole was I was licensed by the state to carry it.
There you go.
That doesn't matter for me anymore, though. I'm out of the system.
Woohoo!
I know.
Celebrate.
Yep. Anybody else out of the system yet?
Yep.
Look at we got
Who else?
you. What is it? Why does it make me choose my color? It was much better when everybody was just yellow. Yep. Yeah, so raise your hand if you're out. That.
Hand. Uh-oh.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing too. I mean, I used to attend groups of friends that, shooting circle of friends, I guess. That we would go, and some people would come from the East Coast and the West Coast, and there would be there'd be scores of firearms and literally tens of thousands of rounds of ammunition.
Well, if you're going to practice, you better practice.
That was just for a social.
It's for our social.
That was for a social event. Yeah. Yep. And it's like you see these news reports where they try to act like something's all scandalous. Los Angeles police busted a man today, and he had 5 guns and 1,000 rounds of ammunition. And it's like that wouldn't even get one of my classes completed. You guys would flip out if they confiscated an instructor's house. It would be like, well, we think perhaps he was being funded by the Russians. It's entirely possible, and then they talk to one of their experts. It's entirely possible that he was the one funding the Russians, supplying them with ammunition into Ukraine. Debbie, get out there and tell them to go forward.
All right.
Yeah, our neighbors last winter, I guess it was last winter now, they pulled out all their soil and redid. They pulled out all their vegetation, like all the way around their house, and put in pavers. And because they built brick wall too, they put a brick wall instead of wooden fence, which is what's mandated by the HOA.
The brick wall?
Oh, the wooden fence.
Oh.
So they had to get it cleared and everything. Anyways, they were renting this to move the pallets of bricks. They were renting this propane-powered forklift. And the house owner, would start that thing up, and it was like missing on one cylinder. It's like 4 cylinders, but it sounded like it was missing on one cylinder and had an exhaust leak. So it'd be all blah, 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 blah. Yeah. That's highly entertaining. Highly entertaining and effective method for getting teens out of bed early in the morning.
This is true. Either that or get your jackhammer.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one, too. Or neighbors getting the palm trees trimmed. Ringing thunk. Because when they, when the palm fronds hit the ground, they not only go thunk, but they do that like.
Yes, they do the shaky noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to get hit by one of those things flying out of a palm tree during a big wind.
No. Out of any, oh, out of any.
Yeah, we had a ton of them in the street the other day.
Oh, so you got good winds.
We had a good wind, and it was a big mess.
Yeah, it's funny. We used to have neighbors that one of them volunteered at the church down the street, and we hadn't trimmed our palm tree in a while. Yeah, we had a windstorm, and it blew all and only the dead palm fronds out of the tree.
Yep.
And I told that neighbor, I said, "Woohoo!" I said, "God trimmed our palm tree for us."
Yes. Exactly.
She goes, "God trimmed your palm tree." And I was just like, "Yeah, I'm grateful all that stuff came down."
Uh-huh.
And she acted like I was being blasphemous or something.
No, that's normal. That's how they get skinned in the nature.
Yeah. Yep.
Nobody's out in the jungle up there going, get all this dead stuff off. No,
Yeah.
the bugs live there. And
It's only in Hawaii. It's only in Hawaii they trim them for the tourists.
Yeah. Well, that just makes them weak, in my opinion.
I don't know. I saw the stupidest thing on PBS once. They were saying that the reason the palm fronds fall off of palm trees until they get to a certain height is so that, I don't know, Diplodocus wouldn't eat the palm fronds off. You know, some dinosaur or something. It's like, you people are the stupidest people ever. And yeah, I did. When I was trimming palm trees, the reasons that they fall, like you just said, there's a larva that goes in, munches those fibers, and then eventually they'll go.
Yep. Nature.
Yep. Abba's creation.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens when those fall? It protects the soil and keeps the moisture trapped.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like he knew what he was doing.
Almost. Oh.
No, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Well, it's the same way when you get out into the mesquite forest areas.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can stick your hand down 7-8 inches, just like you can pine needles.
Oh, yes, you can do it in my front yard.
That's because you mow it all the time.
No, it's from the trees. The little dinky tiny leaves. And I don't rake it up all the time, so it kind of builds up and it's pretty deep.
Yep. Simply amazing.
It is. And I leave it because I know it's making more dirt. It's keeping the dirt from all that dust from blowing around and coming in my house. Come on, we get enough. So
I know it. Yep. That is one thing I'm kind of happy about, letting the garden slide as the Bermuda grass took over.
Mm-hmm.
It really cut down on the dust. But now I got to pull it all again for planting.
Yeah. Mine's starting to die around here, so it's
when spring comes around.
Yep.
Wake the neighbors up Sunday morning, weed eating. Wine.
Yep. I finally weed whacked that front sidewalk. It looks like a bad haircut. It's got sticky ups.
Yep. Yeah, it is good soil. That somewhere, where was it? Let me look. I know I got it somewhere. I'll find it. Is that it? I got a picture of a soil profile. There it is. Yep. So if you look at the root system, this is the root system on the Great Plains compared to with the natural grasses, the natural grass root system compared to wheat.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So this little red circle right there.
Mm.
That's why we had the Great Dust Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, because they took all this out and
Mm-hmm.
replaced it with that. And this is how it is up on the land. It goes down 3, 4, 5, 6 feet, depending on how much topsoil there is.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got to preserve that.
We do.
Yep. We have to be good soil stewards. Yep. So that was, Debbie, that was the root system of the grass for the plains, the Great Plains. And then the ones without the root system, that was wheat crops.
Went down a little tiny bit.
Yep. 3-4 inches.
Is there something wrong with that? I mean,
Yeah. Big time something wrong with that. That's one thing though. Matt was saying that in Iowa, where they just plant corn and rip it up, plant corn, rip it up, plant corn, rip it up. That he said they only got like 6 inches of topsoil there. Him and his brother.
Mm.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. That's why they ended up with that nasty hard soil. So, anything else we need to cover, Lynn?
not that I can think of right off.
Yep. For those of you doing Sukkot, I pray you're still having a good time.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Pray, sing songs, look at nature, bind goat horns. That, if you don't know, binding goat horn makes it so that they come off. They do that so that they don't gore stuff, I guess.
And gore each other and you. And mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So all you need to do is be bent over pulling carrots up, and
They will bump you in the butt.
yeah. My uncle got gored by a cow. That was.
I got bumped by a goat when I was little.
Did you?
And I started to cry, and my mom goes, "Well, I told you not to turn your back on it."
That I was going to ask, was he facing you or no?
Nope, my butt was facing him because, of course, I was bent down petting the lambs and stuff, or chicken or whatever it was. Yeah, very surprising.
I bet. That really is. Okay. Anyways, Lynn, thanks for hanging out. Everybody,
You're welcome.
thanks for hanging out. Debbie, I pray your headache goes away.
Mhm.
And everybody else, have a beautiful evening.
Yeah.
Abba loves you. Bye.